2024 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please. Here.
Here.
Here. I mean, once you start, you got to keep going with it, I guess. Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No, sir.
From either Mr. Tanisha or Mr. Tani?
Mr. Tanisha?
I'm sorry. I mean, okay, get back, okay. Approval of the minutes of the meeting of October 24th, 2024.
Motion to approve those minutes.
And I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, bid openings, I don't see any. Matters from other department heads or their representatives? Nobody? Okay, moving on to correspondence. Letter A, correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, requesting the approval of the resignation of Gabriel Blanco from the Hammond Police Department as a police officer at the close of business on October 23rd, 2024.
Motion to approve Chief Short's request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, correspondence received from Ann Taylor requesting the approval of the First Amendment to Development Agreement with 7833 Indianapolis Boulevard LLC for property located at 7833 Indianapolis Boulevard, submitted for approval.
Good morning to the board. Ms.
morning.
Taylor's here from, of course, Planning and Development, if you have any questions, but this is an amendment to the development agreement that she has, I believe, has signed already from, yep, so we would request its approval. And if you have any questions, of course, she's happy to answer those.
Yeah, I'm good. Yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Letter C, correspondence received from Dave Weiss, Deputy Chief, requesting the approval for the purchase of Expedition-powered stair chair from Sole Source, submitted for approval.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter D, correspondence received from Mark Kowinski requesting approval for the Whiting Knights of Columbus Council 1696 to label the roadway at Atchison Avenue at 119th Street, home of the pierogi drop, and road closure to the parking garage exit of the Ileana Apartments, submitted for approval. I don't know too much about this. Can you come up, Councilman? Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, thank you. I'd like to introduce Andy Dybel from the Knights of Columbus. He's
Morning,
also
sir.
the creator of the pierogi drop, and he is the one requesting this on the asphalt, home of the pierogi drop. So I brought him up with me if you have any questions.
Do you know of any issues that would
I don't, because this is the first I've heard of it, right? I don't think there's any serious objection to it. We just want to see what the artwork looks like and how it's going to be installed and who's going to do the work. And thank you, Councilman.
2-foot letters? It's very big letters. Have you had a chance to see it, Kevin? It's basically goes across the street, goes on the street.
It's across Atchison at 119th, just below the white walkway, and the dimensions of it are
They're going to be 2-inch tall letters. That's what we think would be the
2
right.
feet or
I'm sorry, what did I say? 2-foot letters. We think working with Region Sign in Whiting, they think that's the right size for something like this. It may sound big, but I don't think it's really going to be big when it's actually in place. But if, you know,
How does the road closure come into play here?
well, while it's being stamped, while it's being labeled.
Oh, just that, during that
Just
time?
that 4-hour period, we'd have to close it at 119th Street heading south, and then the Ileana has an exit out of their garage. They'll still be able to do that, so we'll stop it right there. So basically, the Ileana will still be able to do business, but you won't be able to come down 119th Street north or south for 4 hours while it's being done.
Okay. Well, I gotta be honest, I've never been asked about something like this before, so it's kind of new to me.
We approached Mayor Spebar from Whiting because it's Atchison. One side is at Whiting, one side is Hammond. Mayor Spebar said that it's fine by Whiting. He will get it approved at their Board of Works meeting on election morning. So we don't anticipate any problems there.
And it is permanent, it's not for a short amount of time?
It
Okay.
it will be permanent. It will be like a crosswalk type of paint. Okay, so it will wear, of course, but it's not going to be gone in February.
Okay,
Is it paint? Is it thermoplastic? Is it-
It's coming from Site Services in Highland. It's similar to like what you would do for a handicap spot. Okay, that type of what they use. That's how I'm explained to me how you make a handicap spot, the blue whatever, similar to that type of material that will be going down.
I mean, I have no objection for this.
I,
I don't think it's thermoplastic because thermoplastic has to be heated, doesn't it? To go down?
It's applied hot.
Yeah,
It comes
and this is
hot.
coming out of a can, I anticipate.
did you have a date in mind that you wanted to do, what day you were gonna do it?
I would like to do it as soon as possible, but until I get the approvals, I can't really get from Site Services, how fast they can create the templates for us. And then it'll be contingent on Region Sign's schedule also for them to install. But I personally would like it done before the end of November.
Do we wanna have something from the Whiting mayor, just making sure that he approves it?
I trust Councilman Kowinski that he approved it, however, I just wanna make sure that, like, zoning and, it sounds like engineering's okay with it. This is the first I've seen of it. If we could maybe just push it 1 week, just.
That's what I was
Tom's
thinking,
here,
can we do that, Councilman? Can we just, we'll give an
Do
answer
that.
maybe during the week, we'll call you
Yeah.
and give you an answer. We just need, it's kinda new to us.
Next week for this meeting, I'll be out of town. But you can let me know or Andy know.
Absolutely.
But Whiting Public Works is next Tuesday morning. So-
Andy, just make sure we get your number before you leave.
Sure.
And we'll notify you. We just need a little time to look. This is new for us. We've never done this before. So we just want to make sure we do the right thing, because if we don't get it right the first time, who knows what'll happen after that. So, okay? We just want to make sure we get it right.
Like the placing of it.
Absolutely.
It's not gonna interfere with pedestrian, it's not gonna confuse anyone. I don't know what the crosswalk is here, I just wanna make sure we're good.
It's the white lines.
Yeah, I can't tell how far you're gonna put it from. I wanna just take a look at it, or have somebody, I wanna make sure I talk with Dean. I know he said he didn't have an objection, but I just wanna confirm. I think it's a great idea, I'm not like saying I'm against it, I'm just like trying to wrap my brain around it. So I
Okay.
just wanna look.
So we're going to table it till next week. If we come to a decision before next Thursday, Andy or Councilman will reach out to one of you or both of you and let you know, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you for being here this
Thanks.
morning. Thank you.
Motion to defer the decision till the November 7th meeting or before.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter E, request from FH Passion requesting a full road closure of Sheffield Avenue at the NICD SSL tracks from November 4th, 2024 through November 15th, 2024 in order to remove in order to remove old railroad tracks submitted for approval.
Good morning, Mr. Jeff. That's Tanisha and Mr. Don.
Good morning. Never gets old, does it?
No, doesn't.
Yeah. So I asked that this be separated out. NICD representatives are here. Mike Woods and Anthony
Good morning, guys.
Olmos are here for any questions that might come up that I can't answer. So this is Sheffield between Chicago and Goslin. It's the existing NICD railroad tracks from the old line.
Sorry, Dean, Jake is trying to tell us something.
Have a couple of them step
go
over
over
there,
that
yeah.
side?
So we got a better view. There you go. There you go. It was too wide, they couldn't get it. They couldn't get Mr. Jeff's and Miss Tanisha's faces on
Thank
camera.
you.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
So they're asking for a road closure of Sheffield. We're still working out details relative to the maintenance of traffic. They have a plan for the truck route. This is a detour that we've used in the last, say, 4 years, numerous times because of the work we did on Chicago Street. So it's similar. It's their first time doing it. I have concerns about how trucks move if they ignore the detour warning at Burnham, right? Eastbound, and to some extent westbound trucks at Calumet on Chicago, right? So we're working out those details. They're actually asking for the dates to be revised to November 6th through November 17th. And this is, like I said, to remove the old South Shore Line tracks. They've commissioned the new line. I think I saw a commuter train on track 2 this morning, so both tracks seem to be operational on the new line, and they need to remove the old line on Sheffield. Obviously, this is it's a simple work because they're just tearing out the old tracks, putting putting the new asphalt down and the separation of the lanes. So it's not complicated like the Hammond Avenue work was, where they had signals and track replacement and a lot of other things, which caused for protracted closure of Hammond. Well, Hammond's now open. It opened Tuesday night, thankfully. And I asked Nick D, we can't do this work or won't even consider this work until Hammond's reopened. I looked at Hammond yesterday. Everything appears to be in order. A few minor punch list items, but we're recommending approval of this action. They need to get this work done because their contract is sort of running out. This is really the last biggest thing that's going to affect the city of Hammond. All the underground work's been done. All the other crossings have been installed and placed. This is really the final significant amount of work for us to deal with. And so I'd ask for your approval. Questions for me or Mike or Anthony?
This is Anthony. Just one thing. The dates is for 2 weeks, Dean. So November 6th to November 20th, Wednesday to Wednesday.
Oh, 6th to the 20th?
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you for the clarity.
Yeah. But everything else sounds right. I was going through the closures this morning. That should be the last closure we have in Hammond. We finished all the other grade crossings there, so.
I think we know it's necessary. I guess with anything else, we just want to make sure you guys are advertising, make sure everybody's aware of it, stuff like that. If that's the case, I don't have any objections.
We asked that they put up advanced warning.
Yeah.
That's all
right?
we
There's-
ask.
Three message boards were set up this morning at all the intersections that we talked with Dean. So that's all set up this morning, and they'll have a week or 6 days to be up there before we actually close it. So.
What will you do if you start having issues with trucks? You mentioned that might be a problem.
I think the alternative is more signage,
More signage, okay.
right?
We may need some police presence the first day or two.
That's what I was maybe thinking we could do.
Particularly at Hammond and Goslin, right? Because we think trucks will ignore the signs, and because at East, and I should clarify this, at eastbound Goslin, they need to go north on Sheffield because that's part of a truck route. They're going to have to go east on 141st. That's the same detour you used in the past. It's a temporary setup. We know that 141st is not intended for trucks, but that's the primary access out for us. So we'd want to likely position a vehicle early in the closure, a police vehicle or someone to just monitor that for a period of time to keep trucks from going east on Goslin. And then we may need something around Hammond and Chicago, Hammond north of Chicago, because we're afraid the trucks are just going to turn north on Hammond. And I don't know if you remember, but in 2021, we lost that southwest traffic signal post when a truck made a right-hand turn from eastbound Goslin to southbound Hammond. So we'd ask if it's available to have cars to sort of watch those two locations.
If you could, Dean, could you give one of them or both of them my number?
Sure.
And have one of you guys call me on the 5th, just to remind me and kind of let me know again where you'd like. So we'll set the tone early. We'll get a couple police officers out there to set the tone, hopefully. Okay. If you could do that, that'd be great.
I can do that, sir.
Okay, we're good.
Motion to approve.
But we're changing the date, 6th to the 20th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We made that.
Okay. I second, sorry.
All in favor, say aye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you kindly.
Okay, matters from board members, anything?
No, sir, Mr. Jeff.
Okay, moving on, new business. Letter A, resolution number 24, resolution establishing procedures governing the active full-time paid members of the City of Hammond Police Department to vote upon whether to reject the establishment of a merit system pursuant to Indiana Code 36-8-3-4-5-4, submitted for approval.
Good morning, to the board. Linda, I assume we'll give a resolution number on these. It's 24 something. We just don't know what that number is right now. Okay. Okay, so this will be given a resolution number and it'll be reflected in next week's minutes. We'll just make sure we reference that next week. So, Mr. President and Board, On October 15th, the city council issued a resolution rejecting the establishment of a merit system for Hammond Police Department. That was the only way that the membership could vote on whether they wanted a merit system or not. And so the mayor and the council both agreed that this was the best way to get it in front of the body. The statute that you cited in the title of the resolution sets out the procedure that must occur after the city council rejects or issues a rejection resolution, which they did. And that is that it comes before the Board of Works. The Board of Works sets up procedures for the voting and so forth. This document, this resolution, sets forth that procedure. I guess importantly is that the Board of Works and the chief of the police department will work to set a date that will make it convenient for the members that are voting to appear, and then that'll be worked out. So we're not setting a date today, except to say that it has to happen within 60 days of the date of the resolution, which was October 15th, and I'm sure we're well within that. So this gets the ball rolling. The Board of Works will approve a ballot at some point, and then, once the chief sets the meeting, notice will go out, notices will be posted, the resolution that the council rejected will be forwarded to every member, and the chief of the police department, and then you have a resolution coming up, the same resolution for the fire department, will then comply with the procedures that you're approving today.
Okay.
Yep.
Should we approve A and B at the same time? I mean, they're the same language, or do we have to do them
I
separately?
would prefer if you
them separately?
do them separately, yes.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, letter B, resolution number 24, resolution establishing procedures governing the active full-time paid members of the City of Hammond Fire Department to vote upon whether to reject the establishment of a merit system pursuant to Indiana Code 36-8-3.5-4, submitted for approval.
Same. Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter C, order to rescind and release order to demolish for property located at 7601 Golfway Court, submitted for approval.
Mr. President and Board, I was informed by Mr. Luter and Mr. Coles and Inspector Coles that this property was completely rehabbed, and I'd request the release to be signed as presented.
Very nice.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter D, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 1933 Maiden Lane, submitted for approval.
Request that this has been vetted by Mr. Luter based on his inspection and should be signed. New owner. Yeah.
There.
A lot of paper today.
It's signed. It's
All right.
signed, yes.
And so we'd requested, and by the way, just for the record, this has been a property that's been long-standing, and I know the neighbors have also made sure that we were trying to stay on top of it. It's been difficult. We do have some new owners that we believe will complete the work that was started a long time ago. Dean's still here. He knows where this property is, but, and I would just request that a status be set at or near the time of the expiration and that the agreement be approved.
February 8th is the day, so we'll find a date right around there. February 8th. We can do the 6th before
Yes.
it? Is that okay?
Yep.
February 6th.
Motion to set the matter, to approve and set the matter for status for February 6, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter E, master service agreement with Life Safety Inspection, Vault LLC, and the City of Hammond Fire Department, submitted for approval.
Yes, there were some meetings with Fire Chief Grisolia, Deputy Fire Chief Weiss, and the Chief Inspector Sharinga regarding this with the Chief of Staff. And this is going to be an opportunity to better keep track of our fire inspections, including things like extinguishers and items like that. So I would request, and it's at no cost to the city, so I'd request that this be approved as presented.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter F, right-of-way permits. Looks like there's 5 of them received from engineering department submitted for approval.
Well, good morning.
Morning, Mark.
So first one being on Indianapolis Boulevard from State Line to Calumet, the state is doing some corings through Terracon, just like a foot boring to get the core of the asphalt section. So no problem with that. Buckeye Pipeline on Wicker, they had found an issue with their pipeline. So no problem with that. Salyers, NIPSCO service line on Truman, no problem with that. And on Marble Street, another service line for NIPSCO. So Water Department, sign off on them, they're okay with it. And I did have the Sheffield one in there, but I think that was pulled.
What's the Marble address, Mark? Do you know what the Marble address is? It's listed as 4571, definitely not 4571.
I would have to check with that.
Yeah, it could be 451 or something like that.
Yeah, that's where the new roadway went in?
Yeah. We just got to make sure we get the right
Okay.
address on there.
Yeah, I'll find out the right address and submit it
Gotcha.
to Linda.
Okay.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter G, late business license renewal for Trios Little Tots, 6703 Rhode Island.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Could you tell us what happened?
Actually, there were 2 different dates for my, for the license to expire. I was told first it was July. That's when I had an inspector to come out. And then on my license, it said September at the bottom. When I pulled it off the wall and actually looked at it, because it has to be posted in the house, and it said September. And at this time, I have only a family of 2, but I do have a couple more kids starting December. So finances are kind of really struggling at this time.
Is this the first time you've renewed them?
It is. I didn't even know that option was available.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. No, this is my renewal, I think, for the second time.
Second time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, based on our records, it would appear that she was first licensed in 2023, and then for 2024, the license was renewed late, and she did pay the late fee at that point, where the license was issued October, and then which in 2023 and expired then in June, and they have 30 days to renew it without a late fee. That's why we're here today to appeal for 2025. The only thing I did notice is that the business is not registered with the Secretary of State. So a search of their records did not reveal that under the business name there was any record, or under the property address, or the operator owner's name of the business. So we would just request that she register her business with the Secretary of State as required in order to obtain that license.
You understand that part, ma'am?
Actually, this is my first time hearing that.
Okay. Maybe Nick can talk to you after the meeting then, so we can clarify that a little
Okay,
bit
I'm
better.
just pretty new to this, but,
I got you.
okay,
Okay.
sure.
Yes, I would just make a recommendation the board approve the appeal contingent on registering the business with the Secretary of State.
Okay. Waiving the
Okay.
fee, yeah.
So motion to waive the fees and, Ms. what they say.
Contingent on registering the business with the Secretary of State.
Okay, with the contingency on registering the business with the state.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So after today's meeting, you can pay if you'd like, and then Nick will explain to you what you need to do going forward, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. Okay. Okay, letter H, request for the denial of the business license, hearing submitted for approval. Yeah. You know, are you aware of this, Kevin? It's-
Yeah, I'm aware of that. So recently, after a lot of consideration through the zoning office, their attorney, Mr. Westland, myself at the law department, and then ultimately our controller who determines whether a business license should be accepted or denied, there was a denial issued by her. And this gentleman who was the subject of that denial, it's a home business, has asked for an appeal, which he has a right to do. He's doing it timely, I believe, within the 10 days. So we just have to set a date on that.
Okay, we're going to do something next week or the week after? Do you have a preference?
Yeah, I mean, I'm potentially going to be out, but that's okay because Kristen Hill will be here and she can take my place. So
When you're coming back?
probably 28th, or I don't even think so. Yeah,
Never
the
mind.
29th 's Thanksgiving, right? So
14th, yeah.
yeah, I've just got a trial that's going to take me out.
Okay,
So just set it whenever it's convenient for the board, and obviously we don't want to delay this gentleman's appeal.
what's that?
Okay, motion to set the matter for status, to approve and set it for status for November 7th, 2024.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead and I'll just,
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
could I request that Linda send notice to appear to our city planner, Mr. Poland, as well as potentially Mr. Westland in my absence, and we may need the controller here as well.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, moving on to old business number 10, letter A, status for 607 State Street.
607 State, I will present the board with some older photos, but that way you can refamiliarize yourself with the commercial structure owned by Mr. Pavel Garos. Initially, we asked that there was some graffiti and some things that need to be taken care of. He's taking care of that, and Mr. Luter has an update now. It was last before the board on August 1st. We do have a rehabilitation agreement that's expired, so that's going to need to be extended if Mr. Luter requests or recommends that we continue forward on this.
So the exterior work is in progress and close to completion. The graffiti has been removed, several of the windows have been replaced, soffit fascia gutters are being replaced as well. Interior work cannot continue until he gets a construction design release from the state, and that could take up to 6 weeks to 6 months, just depends on when he turns his paperwork in. I do not have a problem giving him another 90 days, a new rehab agreement to move forward and continue working on this property. He seems very interested in wanting to open a cafe or something there with the train station coming.
So we would need to renew the rehab agreement?
Yes.
For 90 days?
Yeah, so what I would suggest is maybe set it about 110 days out, so 3 months plus 20, and that'll give us time to have the rehab agreement signed, and then Linda will make sure that we don't have two dates. You know, if we set one today and then we set one next week, it'll, we want to make sure it's the same day or remember that we have it.
Okay, so February 27th is roughly just
Okay.
under 120.
Great.
February 27th. Yep.
Motion to set the matter for status for February 27th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, letter B, status for 1152 Michigan.
1152 Michigan, I'm going to go ahead and again give you some photos. These were taken mid-year, so it's been a little bit. This is under a rehab agreement. It's owned by, let's see what we got here. Just look at the signature. Do you have it, Bill? I'm sorry. Is anybody here on 1152 Michigan?
No, I don't see anybody.
Okay. Can't read the, oh, I'm sorry, here it is. Rigoberto Pina is Rigoberto Pina Tenorio. The rehab agreement expires on November 2nd, so it expires over the weekend. It was set for status on 8/15. The signed rehab agreement was presented to the board and agreed to by the board. And so Bill has Mr. Luter has an update for us.
This one, the roof has been replaced on that property. Interior work has begun. They have all the permits to do all the work. It's a very experienced demo rehabber that has pulled all the permits. I have no doubt they'll get this property done in a timely manner. I just believe we need to give them a new rehab agreement since this one's expiring.
Can we have that February 27th date?
Motion to set the matter for status for February 27th, 2025.
I second.
And all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, letter C, gas station exemption renewal for 10770 Indianapolis Boulevard, Luke 236.
I think Mr. Fife is here, so, and of course we have Mr. Novak. Maybe we could take C, D and E, since they're all on Luke stations.
Yep. We'll take, so we're taking 10770 Indianapolis Boulevard, 850 Indianapolis Boulevard, and 3550 Sheffield.
Give them photos. So just for the record, Mr. Novak has presented the board with photos of the properties. I think overall, and I'll let Mr. Novak address this, overall, the city is very satisfied with what Luke has done over the year on these properties. There's a couple of minor issues that Mr. Feist made aware of. One of the things I think that, you know, we all want to make sure to make the city look good is good landscaping in the beds, and I think that's an easy thing to do in the spring. But, you know, we appreciate everything that Mr. Feist's done, and he's always been available and attentive to the board's requests. So, Tom, do you want to fill out anything else?
Yeah, well, you know, to Kevin's point, the 10770 Indianapolis Boulevard, now Luke's owns it, but I believe they leased to a Citgo there. I mean, they took care of getting rid of the shipping container. Dumpster enclosures were erected at all three of these properties we're going to go over. They got rid of some graffiti. Do note that the Dunkin' Donuts that used to be there, they did not renew the lease, so they're gone. There was a sign that was removed that needs some painting. Now that that's exposed, you know, it's a little rusted out, that wall. There's a donation box they say keeps popping up. When they remove it, it comes back. You know, he knows there's a couch outside it right now, and they need to send a crew to clean it up. And as he said, the landscaping bed. So 10770 Indianapolis Boulevard, I think the major things have been done. The one other thing was the ADA space should have an access aisle painted next to it. And I went over all this yesterday with Terry, so.
Okay. There was mention about maybe some small issues with the Fusus camera system. I talked to Lieutenant Godey this morning. He said he's talked to Terry. All it is camera angles. They're working on that, so it's minor. He said it's nothing to worry about.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I think, and Mr. Fife knows this, and it's obviously for the safety of their employees as well, and for their tenants' employees, is that the Fusus is the number one thing, and if you're aware of it, Terry, then I'm.
He said they are. They're very. He said they've been very helpful. They just got to get that work done, and that's it. So I'm good with the three. If you guys are.
Yeah, the other two, same thing. They did a lot of the same stuff that we asked for. You know, on Sheffield, there is some new graffiti on the back and some loose trash they got to pick up, but again, he's aware of it.
That's the one on Boy Scout Road.
Yep.
Yeah, and 850 Indianapolis is a new station. The only thing I had there was, you know, tell your employees to close the dumpster enclosure when you're done. That's it, so.
It's like what you tell your kids, right? So
Yes, exactly.
I think, yeah, I think, and the other thing I do want to mention about 850, that was something that when we had this discussion with Mr. Fife last year, that he mentioned that they were going to be redoing the station, and they did. So I think, again, it just goes to the fact that Luke's overall has been a good corporate citizen with the city, and we're pleased with the result here, so.
Okay. Terry, the only thing I would say is, again, with Lieutenant Godey this morning, just continue to work on those camera angles, and then we don't have any issue then.
Yes,
Okay.
IT is on it.
Thank
And
you
we
very-
just updated our camera system at the Sheffield address, so we hooked up the Fuchsia's box last week on that one.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Board.
Okay, thanks.
Motion to approve the extension.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we're moving on to letter, let's see, we did C, D, and E. Moving on to letter F, gas station exemption renewal for 3550 169.
Yes, and I know that Mr. Yaney is present on Zoom along with his clients. I see Nahal Vahora and Neelam Inc. I believe those are Mr. Yaney's clients, so I just want to make sure. Scott, can you give me a thumbs up? You can hear me? Great.
Yep.
And the notes I have that indicate for Mr. Novak, you do have the photos. All issues that were listed last year have been handled by the owners. There's been no problems on this property.
Yeah, I can't confirm. Because they came in for an update, I think, back in March. And there were a few items left, and they did take care of them, so.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Maybe Mr. Yaney, if you want to say anything.
Mr. Yaney, do you have anything to add?
No, I just want to thank everyone. I think this program also has been good. Obviously, the security features are in place, but it also brought to everyone's attention zoning matters, little things that could be cleaned up just to make make the property better and the appearance throughout the city and to neighbors even better. So my clients have been actively engaged. They tightened up everything that needed to be tightened up, worked with Tom, redid the parking lot, redid some lighting. So it was a good freshen up, and I think this experience has worked well for all, and we're appreciative of the extension.
We agree. Thank you. Good to go? Okay.
Motion to approve the extension.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Yaney.
Thank you.
Letter G, gas station exemption renewal for 6845 Indianapolis Boulevard, 2007-169.
This one, so Woodmar. So this is the Woodmar Gas and Food Mart, 169th and the Boulevard. I'm trying to, is this one? Oh, this is, okay, I got it, yep. And I think Jeff Brandt is working with these folks, and I remember seeing them last year, so welcome back. They're doing a total remodel of the interior remodel of the store. Other minor repairs have been made, such as to the fence and the south end of the building. And this is, it seems like a little thing, but in some stations we have trouble with this, like just doing the dumpster enclosure. You saw that a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Where we were just like, just build the dumpster enclosure. These folks have done that. I mean, it's simple, it helps, it brightens up the property, or I should say what it does is it takes care of an unsightly dumpster sitting out in the middle of the property or on the edge of the property. So again, appreciate what they're doing. I don't know if Tom has anything else to add.
Yeah, I just know Jeff Brand, he's submitted plans to Bob Vale. Bob Vale, the building commissioner, is okay with them, so we're hoping in the next couple of weeks that they're able to actually formally pull a permit and get going on the facade. They're going to redo the facade outside and the interior. So I think that'll take care of pretty much most everything that's left.
I live a half block away. This is the gas station I use all the time, so, and they're always, it's a really good gas station, so. You guys have anything you want to add?
No, thanks.
Okay, we're good.
Motion to approve the extension.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Letter H, gas station exemption renewal, 4450 Calumet, Golo 102.
Yes, 4450.
That's the northwest corner of Gosselin and Calumet.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is the Citgo. I'll let Tom take over here. There has been some things pulled. There are some things I think that overall, like for example, like this is a little frustrating. Like we don't have the address numbers posted yet. Like that seems to me to be like a 5-minute trip to Menards or to Home Depot, get the numbers, put them up. So I think overall, Mr. Novak's okay with the change, with the items that were listed at the time of the exception being granted. However, there are a couple things that need to be dealt with here.
Yeah, and I'll say, I spoke with Sonny here yesterday on the 3 properties that he's here to help represent, and on this one, and the one coming up on Columbia, he said he was gonna go out and get the address numbers posted. I'm not sure if he was able to get that done yesterday, but it sounds like that'll be done this week for sure. At this location, they have pulled permits for an interior remodel, I believe, with Jeff. Were you working with Jeff Brandt too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then next door, there was a building, so they owned the commercial property next door. They tore down an old kind of, I don't want to say decrepit, but an older building so that they can now put parking spaces in properly, which hopefully will be, I told them send me the plan for the striping when it's ready. But, there is movement there. They removed signs from windows here and at their other properties. They're going to get slip covers for rusty bollards, The only other thing kind of outstanding is the chain link fence in the alley needs to be righted. It's starting to lean in. But besides that, it sounds like they have plans for the parking, and they've pulled, northwest corner, yeah. So
For the address change, I put them up last year, and they were too small. He said he talked to me yesterday. I put them up already yesterday after he left.
Okay.
The fencing, we're kind of running in circles with the guy. I called a new guy. He came in this morning at 8 a.m. He'll have it done by next week. And the bollards, I ordered the bollard covers. I'm not going to paint them. I'm just going to put the covers on them.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just so we know on the agenda, and it used to be Golo 102, it's a Citgo now, it's real bright, I think, so just, I don't know if it's still considered a Golo or?
No, it's
Okay,
not.
so
On the
it's Citgo.
paperwork, everything's changed.
Got it, okay. So
Yeah,
it's
and
a
the
Citgo.
permits and everything.
Yeah, I defer to Mr. Novak as to his recommendation. I mean, I know these are small things, but they still need to get done, right? We want to get them done. And the exception, of course, the extension of the exception is a privilege, it's not a right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're working on the interior and showing they're investing, I'm comfortable with the renewal, you know, as long as we're not.
And ask Mr. Novak maybe to monitor the.
Yeah, I was going to say, what
Yeah.
guarantees do we have they'll continue making the necessary repairs?
Yeah, and you know, like we did earlier this year, we could even decide to pull some of these people, you know, back in March or April and see, hey, did it get done? But,
Okay,
you know, they're showing effort.
okay.
I wouldn't mind, you know, obviously approving condition upon some of these things getting done, and maybe, I don't know what's a good status date, 45 days for you to, just for Mr. Novak to come back to the board. I don't want to have Sonny have to come back every time, but potentially him to report back to the board, and then if it's not done, then we'll ask Sonny to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I think you can get the fence righted and like those spaces painted in 45 days.
Yeah, within like 2 weeks, you can do that.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
pretty
So is that
comfortable.
good, is that a good time frame?
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 days,
30
I guess,
days,
or something.
About 30?
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
November 28th, that's
That's fine.
Thanksgiving.
Well, that's Thanksgiving.
Do we want to go to
12/5?
December, December 5th?
Yeah.
December 5th,
Okay.
okay.
Motion to approve the extension contingent on the proper fixes being done and to set the matter for status for December 5th, 2024.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to letter I, gas station exemption renewal for 5228 Columbia, Golo.
So this is also a Sitco now. Just a reminder of this one. This is the one where we didn't give all the way till 5 a.m. This is the one right across from the sanitary district.
Yeah.
But it was kind of looked at as a neighborhood spot. It's kind of, there's nothing else much around there from a gas station perspective. So I think the board took that into consideration when determining that they were going to be able to stay open overnight, but they didn't let them stay open the whole time. I want to say it's 12 to 4 maybe, or 12 to.
I thought it was 3,
Maybe,
but
or
it could
3
be
maybe,
4.
okay,
It's
yeah,
one of those
something like
times,
that.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Novak's reported that unfortunately on this property, there's been not much done here as compared to other stations. The dumpster enclosure isn't done yet. There's still a pothole near the south entrance that we talked about last year. Shelving and paint cans are behind the building still. The address numbers are not posted. The parking spaces were restriped last year, however, they've already faded, so that brings into question on the, type of paint they're using or whether it's good quality things. Still don't have an ADA access aisle. Some of the light posts are now leaning, and that wasn't an issue last year, but it is now. And so, again, we've got kind of in this instance, more than the other two that we just talked about, a concern regarding whether or not the ownership of this property is taking seriously the fact that we've given them the privilege to stay open overnight. So I'm looking forward to hearing Mr. Tawana's response and to determine how we need to go forward.
Yeah, so this, I think you guys confused the first one with this one. This is the one that doesn't have the fencing and the bollards. The other one doesn't have any bollards and the fencing's done on that one, right?
Well, yeah, the dumpster enclosure is done on the other one.
Yeah.
When I said the chain link fence was an issue on the other one, that was
somebody
just the
hit
alley
it.
with
Somebody hit the fence.
Which makes
we've
sense.
seen that, we've seen that, yeah.
Because that's where the parking is, but we'll
But
get
this
that
is the
fixed
one-
too.
yeah,
So we
we
had the
got
guy come in today, and he's gonna fix all that and also add more fencing where we demolished the building. And so on this one, we had the guy come in for the fencing today. He should have that done next week.
And you're working with All Type?
Yeah, all type fencing.
Okay, because they did fencing for them at 403 Gosselin.
Yeah, and then same with like the striping, we got it done last year. Obviously, it wasn't a good job if it's fading already, and we'll have that redone, and same with the bollards.
So like addresses, potholes.
Yeah, that's done, the
The
addresses, I
dumpster
fixed the
enclosure.
addresses yesterday, the potholes, I'll have that fixed.
So I talk to a lot of my officers, and I know that you're very easy to work with. They all
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
working. But the problem is, when we get stuff like this, and it's happening the day of, when you've had so much time to do it,
Yeah.
that's frustrating for the board.
Well, a lot of it, I got it done at the time, like the striping and whatnot, I got it done last year. It faded, and I had the AVA and everything, but since it faded, I'll have that redone.
So how much time do you think to get what he talked about completed?
2 weeks.
So that the access,
Yeah.
Well, the striping and stuff like that is easy, I think. The big thing we'll be waiting to see how soon can All Type Fence do the dumpster enclosure.
Yeah, he met with me today, he said, next week he's gonna come back.
Okay, so if we do the December 5th date, again, that
easy-
works?
Easy, yeah.
Okay.
I would almost
Contingent on-
defer a
contingent
decision
on
on
that.
this one.
Yeah, contingent on
I
that.
would even not approve it contingent yet. I'd defer, I'd request the board to defer a decision on the
Till
extension.
December 5th.
Till December 5th.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're comfortable with that, because I'm pretty easy, I think Tom knows I'm pretty easy with
No,
it.
we
get
know
everything done.
that, yeah.
Yeah, and just so it's clear, from Linda's notes, I saw that it was, opens at 4 AM is what was decided. So, well, we closed, what, 12 to 4 then?
Yeah.
Well, okay, well,
Sonny, what,
I think it was 11:30 to 3:30, or maybe that's Gosselin.
that might be Gosselin.
Yeah, so it's 12 to 4, yeah.
We'll figure that out before December 5th, guys.
please do. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Motion to defer the decision and set the matter for status for December 5th, 2024.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to letter J, gas station exemption renewal for 4508 Calumet Avenue.
So this is on the other corner of Gosselin and Calumet. I think Mr. Witham, I saw him earlier. Yep, he's here. Good morning, sir. This is known as the Nice and Easy. Mr. Novak will report out on this. There were a bunch of signs taken down, which we appreciate. The electric message board's been shut down pending removal because we don't want it to be unsightly. So we appreciate that from Mr. Witham and the owner, or I'm sorry, and the tenant. There's been some painting issues. I know that Mr. Novak spoke with Mr. Witham about that, and I'll let him address the other issues that are going on here.
Yeah, so, like everything he noted, the windows got clear to signage, which is a big thing at most of these stations, and they did, I believe, move around some of the Frito-Lay displays so we can see into the sales floor now. Like I said, the painting, Mr. Witham said he's speaking to some painting companies. He said that may not get done until spring, unfortunately, but it is on the list. And then, so, there were some other issues like striping for ADA parking spaces, things like, the actual property stripe parking spaces. I'm sure you're aware if you've been to this property, it's very tight. It gets very busy being near the state line. This and the one across the street is very tight maneuvering. I know Mr. Witham and his client have been in talks with the neighbors to try and expand. They've been kind of at a standstill, but what I'd say is if they are able to expand in the next year or two, then they would have more than enough space to properly stripe, and I'll let Mr. Witham speak to all that, but.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you kind of let us know what, some of the stuff that hasn't been done already? Can you tell us maybe why that hasn't been done?
Well, this is going to be a little different. We've spent about 2 months redoing our POS system because of the Hammond food and beverage tax. It was more laborious than I thought. In fact, I thought we were not going to have to do it because, as I recall, the mayor only mentioned restaurants and bars. And when the information came down, I know there's a lag. We did have a problem in the beginning with the Fuchsia system. They were not able to get it online readily. It took about a month and a half. So all these delays kind of blend together. I know we had time to do a few of the things. We did what we could when we had the time. I've contacted a painting contractor to come in. It probably will not be done till spring, but we want to bring that up and make it look presentable. And I think that's about the only thing I can say.
Because, the food and beverage tax only became an issue in, what, August?
Yeah, September,
So,
yeah.
so we had
September
the
1.
whole summer. I don't understand what was the holdup in May, June, July.
Well, business, we had to change suppliers. I mean, these things don't happen overnight in most of these cases. They take a lot of time. But we'll address any of the other issues within the next month or so.
Like, for example, the painting is, the painting seems like an easy fix. And this is a busy gas station. And so, like, for this gas station, probably more than many, the ADA striping is important because they do have, they're a busy station. They're one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest prices in town. And so that brings business in, which is great for them. But I think for people that may be disabled or have a disability that need to park, that striping is important. And so, especially when you have a busy place, right? Because people tend to respect parking spaces and especially ADA parking spaces. So I would request that kind of be addressed soon, as well as just painting of the railings. It seems pretty easy. And again, like to your comment, Mr. President, this has been since last November.
Yeah.
The painting season is almost over, but.
Yeah, so I would say as far as the ADA go, maybe they could get at least just one ADA space in, maybe the south side of the building. There might be some space there to easily do one. And then, like we said, the painting of the railings and stuff like that. And the only other things I would say is, get the address numbers reposted in the front so they're more legible and in the back. And if they can look into a dumpster enclosure of some kind.
As
Those are
pointed out by Mr. Smith, this is something we can grant. It's not a privilege. I mean, it's not a right of theirs. And to make concessions at this point doesn't seem like the right thing to do as a board. He was told to do certain things. They haven't been completed. And now we're saying it's going to be next spring. I don't know if I'm too happy about that because, again, there's been plenty of time to make the repairs. I can also point out that Lieutenant Godey mentioned that there's fuses issues with the station because a couple of the cameras, one's pointing at a room where you have storage and one's pointing somewhere else. It's not even, there's no reason that it should be pointing there. So that's going to have to get fixed too.
We were not aware of that at all.
Okay, well, he told me that I'll find out who he talked to, but he did point out that it's a problem, so that's something you're gonna have to add to the list to get that Fusus camera system so that we have angles that actually help us help you.
Well, we complied with them, and like I say, it took them almost a month and a half to get it set up. We didn't have any control over that.
Okay, so you're saying that a lot of this stuff can't be done till next spring, and I don't think we're satisfied with that. So there's gonna have to be some further developments really quickly.
If we
Not
can-
next spring.
Well, the painting is not in, to get a contractor at this late in the season.
Sir, I understand, but we didn't tell you to wait till October 31st to start doing that
If I
either.
didn't have two months of the system with the tax.
There's been
It took a
there's been
lot of
over
time.
200 restaurants, facilities, gas stations, you name it, and Ms. Greenwell knows this because she's in the controller's office, that have had no problem getting hooked up with the food and beverage tax. And that was only something that started in September, and they got notice of it in August. So last time I checked, you can paint from April probably through November. Obviously this is important to them. I'm not sitting here saying that I would request the board make a decision today, but I would request a deferral on the decision until that December 5th date and see if they can get this stuff done.
I mean, that is, I think, the furthest I would go. I'm actually kind of inclined to decline it, but I would be okay with giving to December 5th and see what kind of improvements are made.
And ask Mr. Novak to consult, to
Please,
meet with
yeah.
them. And
Tom, if you could please have further discussion with them to make sure that we are getting stuff done.
Yeah, we got each other's numbers. We'll
Okay.
be in touch.
Okay, so December 5th.
A motion to defer a decision until December 5th, 2024.
I second.
2020, oh, yeah, you're right. No, you're right,
2024.
yeah, okay. Okay, second?
Yes, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, the meeting's now open to the public. Anybody have anything they want to say? Come on up to the mic, sir. Could you give us your name?
My name is Jerry Harrell.
And where do you live, Mr.
I
Harrell?
live in Hessville.
Okay.
You don't need the address?
Yeah, tell us what you need.
I came in here on September 5th about two properties, rental properties, that I didn't get the permits for, and you folks okayed to forget about the fines. And then I went from here downstairs to get the permits, but I didn't have all the information to make it out, so the lady gave me a paper saying I have 30 days to get it back to her, which was not a good thing to say to someone with a short memory. I have a short memory, and I put it on my refrigerator, and then it got covered up with a few things, and now I'm back again. And I went in there, I found it Monday, and I went down there Tuesday. They sent me up to the legal department, and they're the ones that directed me back here again to you.
Okay, so we waived the late fees in September?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you just didn't pay them right away, is that what you're saying?
Well, I went down to pay them, but I didn't have the information to fill out these two the permits,
Nick, can you come up here for me, please?
I think it's a
Rental registration? Yeah, can you hand those to Nick, please? Nick, you remember those, and what are the addresses?
All right, so it looks like, okay, Jerry Harrell, it's 3316 175th Place. The years that were owed were 23 and 24. On September 5th, the board waived the late fee, so he had 30 days to pay. So it would have been October 5th would have been the deadline, as well as 3344 176th Street, 23 and 24 as well. They're both single-family homes.
Okay. Do you have any objections if we just let him pay the,
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this is one we've had like historical issues with. So,
sir, do you have the ability to pay that today? minus the late
yes,
fee?
sir.
Okay, then let's make sure that gets done and we'll approve that,
I will
okay?
do that today for sure. This is a big relief on me.
Okay.
And hopefully this will be the last time you ever see me here because my daughters are going to take over these two
Okay.
houses.
Well, have a good day. We'll take care of it. Should I just, you think just initial them or something?
maybe like initial and then date.
Yeah.
To show that an extension was approved. I think that would suffice.
Okay, you can hand these back to him, Nick, for me,
You got
please. Okay, sir, you can take that downstairs and pay that today, okay?
I thank you so much again.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a good day. Is there anybody else in the public that'd like to speak?
Yes.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Good.
My name is Ronald Jesuit Jr. I own a house at 4927 Ash Avenue in Hammond.
Okay?
And I used to own 4921, 4923. I acquired, all the property in 2013. And I have never missed my renter stickers. But unfortunately, I won my case up here, where I just had to come in and pay it. But I wound up in Lake County Jail, which I had 3 heart attacks, and they found out that I had 80% blockage in both sides. So when I was in Lake County Jail, I signed over a power of attorney to my dad, and my dad had a touch of dementia. We used to own Ron's Cozy Tavern in Hammond.
Sir, is it just, I don't mean,
Okay.
I'm glad you're healthy, by the way. I'm glad you're here today. So is it kind of the same situation? You didn't get to pay it in time?
Right, because I was incarcerated, and I told my dad, to pay it because he had power of attorney over
Okay.
me. And he had a touch of dementia, but when his mind was there, it was always straight.
Gotcha. Do you have the sheet that we signed? Can you bring it up to me? That's okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just bring it up to me. That's okay. Just keep all that stuff. Okay. You guys good with this?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to do the same thing. You can pay the $5 today?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to initial it, take it downstairs and pay the $5, okay?
And I have my nephew, he's been staying with me since my heart surgery, open heart surgery.
Okay.
And the rear house at 4927, there's gonna be no more stickers. I'm letting him live in there, and he's helping, taking care of me, taking me to my doctors and everything else. They told me I have to sign an affidavit
Yeah.
downstairs.
Yeah, that'll be with Nick right there.
All right, Nick.
You good with that, Nick?
Yeah.
You can at least talk to him about it, yeah? Okay. Okay, here you go, sir.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Have a good day. Anybody else in the public like to speak? Okay.
Just like to remind everybody about our Veterans Parade on Saturday, November the 2nd. It starts at 10. It'll go from 173rd and Knickerbocker to Hessville Park, and we just want to pay homage and reverence on the hallowed things that our veterans have done so far, and we appreciate their service. So if you're not busy, please come out and support that Veterans Parade.
Amen. All in favor, say aye.
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 I guess I'll make a motion to adjourn.